Hey guys, Matt again. Time for another video. Doing about one every weekend now, as opposed to the two I was doing for the first, I don't know, year and a half of this show. I'm kind of running out of bands that I have enough of a large discography of to do a show on. So I'm kind of out of ideas right now. I'm going to do U2, everyone's favorite 80s Irish band. Although a lot of people kind of got tired of them toward the end of the decade. I'm just going to do their classic era from 79, when they released that first EP or a single, or whatever you want to call it. It was called 3, through Achtung Baby in 91. There's nothing wrong with the Zerope album. I just, I'm trying to tone down, scale down these shows sometimes. Just make it easier on me. So what I'm going to be using for at least the first half of this show is this, what I thought was a pretty good CD box set of the early albums, up through, through the Under a Blood Red Sky mini LP, whatever you called it at the time. It's remastered CDs. These are double discs. I'm pretty sure they're all double discs. And it's got all the early stuff, So, I mean, let's look at Boy, which is the first album. This is the way I recommend to hear the album if you want to hear it on CD, because the bonus tracks are outstanding. Oh, come on, don't tell me that you can't read them. It's on the back? My God. Well, anyways. So this is Boy, or this is the way that that I had it, when I was growing up. That was the cover. It's still one of my favorite U2 albums. It's, the whole thing is, their first 3 albums are almost like concept albums. Not so much that they tell a story, but that they're linked, the songs are linked thematically. The theme of this album, obviously, is adolescence and boyhood. I love every song on here. And before this album, there was, as I mentioned earlier, that single. It was called 3. It came out in 79. And God, I wrote it down because I always get the songs. It's Out of Control, Stories for Boys, both of which were re-recorded for Boy, so they're different versions. And then unique to that single called Boy Girl. I'm fairly sure every song is on here. Oh yeah, there they are. Okay, so I don't know if you can zoom in on this or not, but that's the songs that are on there. And you get the whole Boy album remastered. You get those early singles. And anyways, I love it. Boy, to this day, one of my favorite U2 tracks. U2 albums. Then there was October. Now see, this one has... Oh, that's what I forgot. This is the cover of Boy, and there's the songs. Okay. It's even got 11 O'Clock TikTok. Cartoon World. I don't even remember that one. Anyways, Another Day. That was another single. So this goes right in here. Got it. Okay, so October came out in 1981. Of the 3 classic, early Steve Lillywhite albums when they were fully like an Irish band, this was my least favorite growing up. But my girlfriend later became my wife. This was her favorite, so she played it the most. So, I mean, I know every song on here, at least as well as I know Boy. So the concept of this album is religion. The band were 3/4 Christian. I think only Adam Clayton wasn't involved in this kind of Christian. They had meetings. It was this little group, that the 3 of them had, and they really were just as serious about that earlier in their career as they were being in a rock band. I remember, I heard on their first tour, they didn't drink or smoke or anything. So, anyways, if adolescence was the theme of the first album, then it's spirituality, religion, whatever you want to say, God on this one. Gloria was a big famous cut, and it's just like I Will Follow was on the first album, or Stories for Boys. There's lots of great songs on here, though. I love October, the title track. Fire is good. I threw a brick through a window. I fall down. I mean, there's plenty of good stuff. And you get BBC sessions and then live stuff. And I mean, it's just another great way to listen to the to the early U2 albums in this box. Okay, what was Another Day was their single that came out in '82, and you know what? I don't even really remember that song that much. Anyways, so yeah, I can't come on too much. War was their breakout album in the States. It was the first U2 album I ever bought. Then I went back and I got the earlier stuff. This was in '82, '83, when MTV was first really getting big, and you saw the videos. There's all the tracks on this deluxe edition. Sunny Boy Sunday. I mean, everyone knows that song. Seconds, takes a second to say goodbye. New Year's Day was a big MTV song. Like a Song was great. Two Heartbeat is one of their better cuts. Surrender, and then I even had this old Low Fidelity gold disc of this album. It's a classic. It's a classic early 80s, Northern Irish album from a time when a lot of the great Irish bands like Stiff Little Fingers or Undertones didn't have the public profile that they did a few short, years ago. So U2 were carrying the banner for all of that. So anyways, War, it's a classic. So is Boy. Just it wasn't played on the radio a lot here in the States. This is just popping up here. This is a little best of 1980s to 1990. It's 2 discs. I like it because it has a bunch of stuff on here, which they used to play on the radio. And like the very first one on the B-sides, Three Sunrises, Spanish Eye, Sweetest Thing is really good. I'm not gonna go through them all. Patti Smith's Dancing Barefoot. But it's like a best of on the first disc, and then a bunch of rarities on second disc. I like it. All right. Okay, the last disc in the box set is this, the Under a Blood Red Sky, which was a big deal when I was a kid. This was their show at Red Rocks in Colorado, and they would play that video, the whole show, on MTV, and we all went out and bought the album, and this is when U2 were really big, but they weren't supernova yet, the way they would be, with the Joshua Tree. But, I love it. These songs are all really good live. Gloria, 11 O'Clock TikTok, which if you didn't buy this 45 before that, you were hearing this song for the first time. I Will Follow, Party Girl. I don't remember Party Girl before this album. So was that on I think that there's a studio version of that. Sunny Bloody Sunday, the Electric Co. and New Year's Day, and then 40. And then you get the DVD. Now they cut out a little bit of this where, Bono was kind of singing the songs of Let's Twist Again like we did last time, and then he forgets the words. They used to play that on the radio, but I guess when they got the rights to reproduce it on, CD and DVD, they couldn't get it. So this is not the complete show, but it's close enough. All right, so we loved it then, and I still like it now. So I'm gonna put this back, and we're going to look at some individual CDs not contained in this box set. Okay, in '84, I think that was the same year as the Under a Blood Red Sky, right? There was the Unforgettable Fire, which was another big deal, to my generation, one of the top albums of 1984. Played this album to death. This is when they were working with Eno. Again, I love all the songs. Sort of Homecoming, Pride in the Name of Love, Wire, Unforgettable Fire. These are all great. Bad is one of their great ever songs. MLK was a big deal to us anyway. This is the only disc I've ever had of this, the old Mobile Fidelity. I don't know what I had in 1984. I must have had the CD initially. I must have thrown it away when this came out. But anyways, still sounds good, to these ears. And this is the last album that they would make before they would go, like I said, supernova. All right. So they went. There were other, like 45s and stuff and EPs after that, especially in '85. There's one I'm thinking of. I can think of the cover, and it had Bono singing. It's like a black and white, and it's white with that picture. But anyways, when they came back again with the Joshua Tree in '87, another Mo Fidelity version, this is when they were like the biggest band in the world. This is when I finally saw them live, I mean, everything on here. Where the Streets Have No Name. I still haven't found what I'm looking for. With or Without You. Bullet to Blue Sky. Running to Stand Still is a good song. In God's Country was played a lot on the radio. Trip Through Your Wires is really good. One Tree, I mean, yeah, this is one of the great albums of the 80s to the extent that it was overplayed. A lot of people got tired of it. This is when, well, I was going to say this is when the idea that Bono was kind of self-righteous was coming into play, but it was even before this. But they were so popular at the time that they couldn't be denied. So I still love it, though I rarely play it. The Joshua Tree, one of the epic albums of the 80s. Perhaps too soon was Rattle and Hum. The very next year in 88, there was this album, which is, I think if you got the vinyl, it was a double album. There was a movie, which of course we all saw. There was a book. I remember going into bookstores and seeing U2 all over the book racks and just thinking, these guys are being overhyped right now. But having said that, there's plenty of great stuff on here. Desire. I forgot that they did All Along the Watchtower. Pride in the Name of Love. Well, no, that's just a cover. Angel of Harlem is one of the better cuts. When Love Comes to Town. That's probably it, huh? I think there's more. I thought there was more than that. Oh, well, that one had B.B. King on it. But it's a solid album. But I think this is when people were starting to get tired of U2. All right. I'm speaking, of course, as one who was there, as I was still in my 20s, and they were a huge band, but they perhaps should not have released an album the very next year after Joshua Tree, when that album was still fresh in everyone's minds. So they wisely took a few years off and came back in '91 with one of their best ever albums, Achtung Baby. This is the same CD that I bought then in '91. So, if they ever gave like a deluxe edition of this album, I'm probably sure that there are. I never bought it. But, okay, Zoo Station, even better than The Real Thing. One is a classic. Until the End of the World. Who's Gonna Ride Your Wild Horses? The Fly was a big one. Mysterious Way. I mean, damn, this is almost like a greatest hits, So this is, again, one of their great albums. So they were able to keep it going, quality-wise for a long time, well over 10 years. And I think these are their best albums. Like I said, there's nothing wrong with Zoop. I considered just doing, finishing in the 80s, the 90s, I'm sorry. But then I would have had to have got that, All You Can't Leave Behind album too. So anyways, I'm stopping here in 1991 when they had really done no wrong. So yeah, U2, one of the best bands of the 80s that perhaps, in the minds of many became too, institutionalized and too accepted by, Rolling Stone magazine or, whatever. But I don't hold that against them. I mean, the music is still solid. All right, so until next time, Matt signing off.